Now at 5, we're going to learn where plans to develop Joplin's historic Union Depot stand. Plus, how the McDonald County Chamber Director helped high school students better appeal to future employers. And
the House moves to oust Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his post. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the details of what happens next.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A history-making move in our nation's capital this afternoon. Kevin McCarthy has become the first Speaker of the House to ever be removed from power through a parliamentary rule called privileged motion. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The move saw far-right hardline conservatives band together with House Democrats to defeat the Speaker. Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill, including what comes next.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has been stripped of his power.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz filed the motion to remove McCarthy after the Speaker turned to Democrats to help pass a short-term spending bill to keep the government open.
The one thing that the White House, House Democrats, and many of us on the conservative side of the Republican caucus would argue is that the thing we have in common, Kevin McCarthy said something to all of us at one point or another that he didn't really mean and never intended to live up to.
But then it was Gaetz who needed Democrats to remove McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy is not trustworthy. We don't trust him. Their own conference doesn't trust him. We've just lurched from crisis to crisis with him as Speaker.
The decision to vacate the chair means the House will now plunge into a battle to elect the next Speaker of the House, though McCarthy likely can and will run again.
The overwhelming majority of my party supports the Speaker that we elected.
The House Republican drama comes as Congress is still grappling with crucial issues.
We have a government that will shut down in 40 days. We have a Ukraine war that needs to be funded in the next 15 days.
The House cannot proceed on any other issue until a new Speaker is elected. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The House is now in recess to get things in order as they try to figure out who is going to run to be the next Speaker of the House. A market research report on Joplin shows redevelopment of the Union Depot building could lead to possible growth opportunities. Since May of last year, the Downtown Joplin Alliance has been working with the state of Missouri to figure out how to turn the Union Depot into an asset for the community again. Joe Borgstrom with Place and Main Advisors presented research showing the depot has the best chance for success if it serves as a multi-purpose role.
Tremendous amount of potential. We think it can host any number of uses, but one of the things that we think would be really cool would be a brew pub or a distillery or something like that, and then with a mix of office and retail and community space.
The Alliance says their next step is to put out a request for proposals for potential developers. State of Missouri is offering tax credits for meat processors and specialty crop producers. The Missouri Agricultural and Small Business Development Authority is accepting applications for the credits. One is available for meat processors who invest in modernizing or expanding their facilities. The other is for family farmers using loans to pay for specialty crop resources like seeds and equipment. Building a resume is a crucial step in the job hunting process, and the director of the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce today spoke with students at McDonald County High School about what to include on a resume, also how to present yourself through one.
I hope that they went away understanding that the grit and the passion are really what it takes today. I mean, everybody can prepare a great resume. Computers can do that for you. But it's when you get the personal interview, where the passion and the creativity come across. That's what people are looking for.
That presentation was geared towards students in business classes. Kind of cloudy out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, a lot of clouds for us today and a couple little sprinkles, a light little shower, but in general, it's been a fairly good day for us today. Temperatures right now, we're sitting into the upper 70s and then low to kind of mid 80s once you get into our western counties. But we are going to cool down quite a bit as we go through the next couple days. All right, you see these tiny little showers kind of working through, but look out to the west. Thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, central and western parts of Kansas. And that line will start to head toward us. Not till after midnight. It will kind of fall apart, but something we want to keep our eyes on. But if you're getting out this evening, it looks good. We drop back through the 70s, eventually into the 60s later on tonight. Big cool down heading in our direction as well. We're going to discuss it all here in a bit.
See you soon. President Biden's son, Hunter, today pleaded not guilty to federal firearms charges. Hunter Biden was indicted by a grand jury after a judge refused to sign off on a plea deal that would have spared him jail time. The younger Biden faces charges he lied on an application to buy a gun. If convicted of the gun charges, Hunter Biden faces a maximum of up to 25 years in prison. Former President Donald Trump is back in a New York courtroom today for day 2 of the $250 million civil fraud trial against him, his eldest sons, and Trump Organization executives. During a break in the proceedings, the former president told reporters he intends to testify during the trial. He's on the witness list for both the state as well as for his own defense. His longtime accountant, Donald Bender, continued on the stand for a second day of testimony today. Last week, the judge ruled Mr. Trump and his co-defendants are liable for fraud. A bed bug outbreak is taking over Paris less than a year before the kickoff of the Olympic Games there. French authorities are determined not to let the bed bugs bite during the Games and have started a drive to exterminate the pest from public transport, cinemas, and other places. Video shows bugs crawling around in high-speed trains and at the Paris metro. Still ahead, getting ready for the gift-giving season.
Toy Fair is back. I'm Astrid Martinez, and I'll tell you about the Elmo slide and other toys that will be on kids' holiday wish list this year.
And next in Health Watch, the CDC is proposing guidelines to better protect against sexually transmitted infections. Topping today's Health Watch, after a late summer spike in COVID cases, with the holidays approaching, a new study published in JAMA found the Paxlovid, the antiviral treatment, is effective in reducing hospitalization and death in extremely vulnerable individuals. Severely immunocompromised people saw the greatest benefit from the treatment. The FDA is warning hospitals about using probiotics in infants born prematurely. Comes after the death of a preterm baby who was given a probiotic in the hospital. The company behind that probiotic has agreed to recall the product and notified healthcare providers and hospitals. In a warning letter, the FDA cautioned healthcare providers that bacteria and fungi found in probiotics might put preterm infants at risk of invasive, potentially fatal infections. The CDC is proposing the first morning after pill to protect against sexually transmitted infections. Reporter Christian Benavides has more.
New draft guidelines from the CDC would use an inexpensive antibiotic as a morning after pill to try to prevent sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, such as chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis.
We're at a record high number of STIs in the nation, and we need game-changing innovations.
Doxycycline is commonly used to treat bacterial infections. The CDC says growing research shows some people who take the antibiotic within 72 hours of having unprotected sex are much less likely to contract an STI.
In several studies, that's been shown to reduce the chance of getting an STI by about 2/3.
Cases of STIs are increasing. The CDC says between 2020 and 2021, more than 2.5 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis were reported.
Sexually transmitted infections also increase the chance that someone will get or transmit HIV. So any innovation that prevents STIs could also have an effect by preventing HIV infections as well.
The draft guidelines would be for gay and bisexual men and transgender women, groups most impacted by the higher infection numbers. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
The CDC says it's also monitoring for whether more use of the antibiotic could result in more drug-resistant bacteria. There's been a significant rise in eating disorders among adolescents following the pandemic. A new analysis of data from Canada found visits to the ER for eating disorders more than doubled in the 30 months after the start of the pandemic. Hospital admissions also increased by 54%. Researchers believe factors such as isolation and increased time on social media likely contributed to the rise. A study looking at nearly 500,000 participants found loneliness was associated with an increased risk of developing Parkinson's disease. Researchers found the increased risk was regardless of demographic group and independent of other factors. Researchers say this finding adds to evidence that loneliness can impact both mental and physical health. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, why 75,000 healthcare workers could be going on strike tomorrow.
Plus, rain chances increasing, also cooler temperatures working in. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a cloudier day, but overall a pretty nice day for us today. Still into lower 80s for most of us. We've had a couple random little sprinkles, couple random little tiny showers, but in general, it has looked pretty good. Outside, 78 in Anderson, 78 in Lamar, Monette, Cassville. You get on the Kansas, the Oklahoma side, you do climb into the lower 80s, 82 in Parsons, 84 in Independence. But overall, it looks pretty good. 7th and Rangeline, currently sitting at 79, feels like 80. Southerly winds at about 15, but we've had gusts upwards to about 21, so it's been a little bit on the breezy side. All right, through the evening hours, we slide back through the 70s, eventually into the mid-60s. Later on tonight, you can see the clouds, a couple random little sprinkles, kind of rotating through, but besides that, we look pretty good. We do have thunderstorms out to the west, Nebraska, parts of Kansas, severe thunderstorms, several severe thunderstorm warnings, even a couple tornado warnings. And then once you track south, you can also see a few little thunderstorms popping up through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Now, all this is going to head toward us later on tonight, but it's also going to fall apart as it rolls in. But this whole upper level wave is going to rotate by, and as it does so, it's going to bring some cooler temperatures in. It's actually going to feel like fall as we go through the next few days. All right, let's stop. 1:30 in the morning. Showers and a few thunderstorms enter our northwestern counties, Yates Center, Fredonia, Chanute, Iola. But as they work in, they kind of fall apart. So they're going to be scattered, and I don't think they're going to be too strong. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning, scattered thunderstorms through the morning hours, so it's most likely going to be wet when you get up in the morning hours. Hit and miss showers through the morning, so here's the noon hour. Temperatures low to mid 70s. As we get into the afternoon, kind of hit and miss again, showers and a few thunderstorms. They flare up a little bit more for us tomorrow night, so here's 8:30, and as we go through the evening hours, another batch starts to drive through into Thursday morning. Here's 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll go to 6 a.m., still scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. And then I think by the noon hour, most of these on Thursday will be gone. We get some sunshine. Temperature is fantastic, mid-70s for highs as we go into Thursday afternoon. All right, day planner for you tomorrow. 67 in the morning, 73 by noon, 76 by 4. High temp pushing 80. But again, scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms popping up really anytime during the day. Now, as we look at rainfall amounts, we got to see where those heavier bands set up. But I think on average, most of us get a quarter, half an inch, maybe a little bit more than that in spots, which definitely would be nice, but the temperatures are going to be great. 79 tomorrow, 76 on Thursday. We keep going down. Look at Friday, 67 down to 40. We may be pushing some patchy frost Saturday morning. 63, that's it on Saturday, 70 Sunday and Monday, so we're going to get some nice fall-like weather into the region.
Yeah, I'm loving the cooler temperatures, the prospect
Fire
of
pit
it.
weather.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up after a 2-year break because of the pandemic, the Toy Fair is back in person with the hottest gift ideas of the year. Topping today's Consumer Watch, another potential massive labor strike could start in the U.S. in just hours. This time, tens of thousands of healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente say they're going to walk off the job if they don't reach a new contract by tomorrow. Kaiser Permanente and leaders from a coalition of several unions have been negotiating since April, but the contract for more than 75,000 healthcare workers expired this past Saturday. The issues include higher wages, benefits, and safe staffing levels. Frontier Airlines has reached a settlement after being accused of discriminating against pregnant and lactating pilots. In 2019, several female Frontier pilots filed a lawsuit claiming Frontier discriminated against pregnant pilots and new moms who were trying to breastfeed. Frontier has agreed to the settlement but did not admit liability. Pilots will be allowed to pump breast milk during non-critical portions of flights. Frontier will also allow pregnant pilots to fly so long as they are medically certified. Toy companies from all around the world descended on New York to show off their latest products ahead of the holidays. The Toy Fair has been held for more than 100 years, but this one is unique. Astrid Martinez tells us why.
The Toy Fair in New York is flying high once again. The last in-person event took place in February 2020, just a few weeks before the convention center was transformed into a hospital for COVID patients. After a 3-year pandemic hiatus, the toys have returned.
It feels so great to be back at Toy Fair.
Lori Schacht from the Toy Insider says many well-known toys are back for this holiday season, including Elmo. The Elmo slide lets kids dance and sing along in both English and Spanish.
Keep rubbing, keep rubbing.
Schacht showed us the latest from Magic Mixies, a genie lamp that kids rub to eventually reveal a toy.
And look at our magic moment.
And kids can become mad scientists with the Beast Lab. The green concoction creates a beast, a process that can be repeated multiple times. There are also plenty of toys with movie tie-ins, including the Ninja Turtles, and of course, Barbie, which won Doll of the Year.
Kids are rediscovering Barbie, adults are rediscovering Barbie.
And there's even more toy nostalgia, like the Care Bears and Light Bright, part of a new trend of toys designed just for adults.
The Toy Association recently did a survey, and 89% of adults say that they plan to buy a toy for an adult on their shopping list this holiday season.
For those shoppers, there's a Pac-Man pinball machine, the home version of popular game shows, and even old school action figures that can be given to kids and kids at heart. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
Toys R Us is getting creative as it continues to work on a comeback. The retailer's parent company says it plans to open locations at airports and on cruise ships. It also intends to have 24 new flagship stores operational for the 2024 holiday season. The new locations add to existing shops at Macy's stores. The partnership is giving Toys R Us new life after it shut down all locations back in 2018. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more on the ouster of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on plans to develop the historic Joplin Union Depot. Plus, police in Wichita, Kansas believe they've solved a 34-year-old cold case. And it's a busy day for high school softball in Missouri. We're going to check out some of the top matchups in the area. Stay with us for CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. NASA has released new images of a moon that some say resembles a certain food. This is Pan, one of the many moons that orbits Saturn. NASA posted the photos on its Instagram page and asked people if the moon's unique shape resembled some common foods like ravioli or an empanada. The Cassini spacecraft captured photos of Saturn's innermost moon 6 years ago, and we're getting our first glimpse of the oddly shaped celestial body. Scientists say Pan has a prominent ridge along its equator, and that gives the moon its distinctive shape. But it's making me hungry.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting
Think
close to
about
dinner
ravioli,
time.
yeah.
But it also has, it looks like it has rings.
Yeah, not exactly. The rings around Saturn are also moonlets of sorts, all sorts of objects out there.
Weird.
Yes, it is.
All right. Yeah, showers rolling in after midnight tonight. Temperatures slowly decreasing the next few days.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we're going to be right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.